Okay, people can hear us.
Zoom in.
So, okay, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here.
I met you last year at Extra Life United. Actually, I have my jersey on today.
Love it.
So, what you got?
Well, this is Jude. I guess that's the camera there, right?
Yeah,
Hi.
the blue thing.
Okay, so
Hi, everyone.
this is Jude. Jude is one of over 30,000 children that we serve at Children's Specialized Hospital. We are the local Children's Miracle Network beneficiary, so there's over 150 other hospitals around the country that are doing the same thing we're doing for Children's Specialized, but we are honored that you guys are playing for us. I love that you guys came and played games with our kids. We're the largest pediatric rehabilitation healthcare system in the United States, so it's a very unique place. It's different than your typical acute care children's hospital, but our kids are very special. Their stays are typically longer than the average stay of a acute care hospital. We also have a long-term care nursing home, and a lot of outpatient services. So it's a very unique place that helps lots of different kids with lots of different diagnoses. So you guys are doing an amazing job helping us today. We are so thrilled.
So one thing I feel like maybe I didn't understand really until I went to United was like how it works. So it's like Extra Life sort of falls under the umbrella of Children's Miracle Network. Can you explain how that works?
Yeah. So Children's Miracle Network, we're comprised of children's hospitals, then great corporate partners like Costco and Remax and Marriott, great community partners, media partners, and then we have these what we call programs. So Extra Life is a program. What's unique about Extra Life is that any gamer can choose any children's hospital, whereas most of our other partnerships, it's where you are. So if you're at a Costco down the street, the money comes to Children's Specialized. Whereas if you're at a Costco in Long Island, it goes to Cohen Children's Hospital. So it's usually based by the area. This is a unique program because you're able to choose the hospital that you want to benefit. But it's the same sort of principle that whatever funds you raise will stay local to that hospital.
Right.
Children's Miracle Network is the umbrella over all the hospitals and partners. And we're the sort of the members of the network.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. I think I sort of didn't understand that until seeing it and understanding that like there's this larger effort that's beyond Extra Life. That's like really cool to see.
Yeah.
How long has the Children's Miracle Network been around?
Just over 30 years. We started in 1983, and then our hospital, Children's Specialized, we are celebrating our 125th anniversary this year. So it's a really special year for us, and we're so excited to have you guys as a part of that.
Can you talk a little bit about how your hospital started? Because you told us the story last night, and we tried to express it to our viewers about an hour ago. I don't know if we did nearly as well a job as you were.
We did not.
We tried.
But I think it's a really cool story of how it originated.
Yeah, the history is so rich. We again, it was in 1891. And it was really a woman named Laura Pelham and her husband William that started it with other people in the community. But they basically just wanted a place for kids to come who were living in the inner cities and the tenements at the time to sort of get that fresh air, fun kind of experience where they can run around in green grass and get clothes and toys and food and things that they didn't have where they were living at the time. And so that's really what it was at first. It was that kind of experience for a few weeks in the summer. But they started to realize that wasn't enough for these kids. Some of them had never seen a doctor before, and we started to have medical professionals start to volunteer their time at what was called at the time Children's Country Home. And that's what it was for a long time until the 1940s. Due to the polio epidemic, the hospitals were overflowing. And so they decided to make Children's Country Home just a place for kids with polio. And miraculously, some of them, were able to walk out of there. If you look on our website right now, because it is our 125th, that's www.childrens.specialized.org. But if you,
in the chat probably.
If you look there, because it is our anniversary, we have so many pictures and history that you're able to read about, and you can see the kids that were there for polio and the treatments that they were getting. And then thankfully in the 50s a vaccine was found, and so we had to reevaluate again what our community needed. So we became the beginning of what we are today, which is the largest pediatric rehabilitation system in the United States. We have 13 sites. We're all here in New Jersey, but we serve a lot of kids, like I said, with a lot of different special needs.
Can you talk about like the average length of the hospital stays for the kids and like what you guys see the most frequently?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I think a lot of that's really impressive.
So the inpatient stays, the average length of stay is 4 weeks. The most common reason we would see someone in our infant toddler floor is that they were born premature, and while they're out of the NICU, many of them still can't breathe on their own, they can't eat on their own, so they have feeding tubes and breathing tubes, and many of them come to us to hopefully be weaned off of them. Our vision for all of our kids is to live to their fullest potential. So, our hope is to wean them off. And we actually have a doctor, Dr. Sharon Burke. Hi, Dr. Burke, if you're watching. She's the best. She has a success rate that's double the national average of weaning those children off of those tubes. So she's amazing. For our older kids, the most common reason that they would be there is an acquired injury. So many of them have been in accidents. Some of them are recovering from surgeries, and then some are just, this Jude, for example, had what they thought was just a simple ear infection, and it turned out to be an inflamed spinal cord. He woke up one day and wasn't able to move. He was paralyzed from the chin down, and, they just thought it was a simple ear infection. So he came to us, and thankfully we were able to help him, and now he's walking again, and he's still an outpatient. That's one of the great things about our hospital. You can be an inpatient for several weeks and then go home and be able to be with your family, but continue to receive care. There are outpatient units, so it's a continuum of care for a lot of our families.
And it's also, one thing that I thought was really cool is that it's not just doctors and nurses. I mean, obviously, no hospital is just that, but it's what we think of, right? You guys also have tutors on staff, and you have psych, helping, what's the word I'm looking for? Psychiatric help.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
the family volunteers, all those people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so
you can talk about that too.
I would love to. We have something called family faculty, which is basically a staff of our families. They're paid staff. They're our experts. They've been through this, or maybe they're still going through it. And so we hire them to do two major things. One is to help new families. A lot of times the reason that a family is here is unexpected. And so they're helping be a resource, sometimes just be a shoulder to cry on. And then the other thing they do is they sit with our committees and they sit on some of our boards and help us to make some pretty major decisions, because who better to ask than someone that's been through it? And so, for instance, when we were building our hospital in New Brunswick, which has only been open since December of 2007, we asked family faculty, what would you want in New Brunswick that you didn't have in Mountainside? And they came up with this family lounge. It's this great area, as you guys saw yesterday, where they're able to shower and do their laundry and check their email and print something out if they have to. If they're able to stay with their child. This is one of my favorite things about the hospital. We have these little beds next to each patient bed, so if a family is able to stay, they can stay. And I think that's wonderful, but at the same time, we want to be able to provide them with all the resources that we can, so that during that stay they don't feel like, gosh, I haven't had a shower in days, I don't have any clean clothes. All of that's there for them. So we love our family faculty. They're great.
Yeah, that's something, this isn't even really a question, it's just something that we all, I think, kind of observed when we were talking about this earlier, is that everything that we saw just seemed so thought out of what a family might conceivably ever need.
Yeah.
The resource library and the shower in the lounge and the beds in the rooms and just absolutely every aspect is really thought out in that way.
Absolutely. And the classroom that we were talking about, that's another thing I loved, is that any hospital can do bedside tutoring, but with education and technology being so close today, being able to have that child go to the classroom and be in that sort of environment and be able to work on a computer one-on-one with the tutors, I think is amazing. And our teachers do work with their school systems so that they're not missing so much of school. 4 weeks is the average, so that's a long time, a lot of school to miss, a lot of schoolwork to miss. So I love that about our hospital as well.
That's all right.
Sorry, Asif.
I thought probably the most inspirational thing from the visit that I took away was that the longevity of the program, right? The 125 years. But seeing how you look at it from what does the community need right now?
Yeah.
How you guys pivoted from here's a place for kids to come play and be safe. Here's a place to treat polio. Here's now a place to treat, developmental issues and head trauma. And how when we were walking through some of your facilities, it's some of the most innovative stuff out there for treating, and how it's you guys really are innovators. You look at what the problem is and you try to solve it, and that combination of providing care to people who can't afford it, but also being on the cutting edge of care. I think is what makes you guys extremely unique.
Well,
That
thank
was
you.
what-
And honestly, we would not be able to innovate in that way if it weren't for people like you that are raising funds for our kids, because we're a nonprofit hospital, and we do give over $1 million in charity care every year. And at the end of the day, like, we wouldn't have those funds for charity care or for innovation and research projects if it wasn't for people like you. So thank you so much for what you guys are doing. You guys are rocking it. I've been just so excited all day checking the numbers. You guys are doing amazing.
Yeah.
Just number
Awesome.
one, and I'm so grateful.
No, thank you for stopping by.
course.
And no, we're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
We got some more time.
It's
left.
gonna,
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a rough night, but I feel like seeing the hospital is like a motivation.
Oh, yeah.
factor, yeah.
Good. I'm so
Yeah.
glad, because you guys should know what you're doing this for, and I'm so glad you guys were able to come.
No,
No, it was
I
great.
was telling these guys, I was talking to my mom yesterday, and like, I flew in from San Francisco, so
Yeah.
it was a nightmare trip.
Yeah.
So I get here, and I'm just like, I'm so tired. My mom's like, you're playing video games for sick kids. Shut up. She's like, that's enough. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah. These kids, they motivate me all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Just to share something personal about me, I have a form of muscular dystrophy, so if you notice in my gait, it's just a little off. I have a bit of a limp. And that's something I didn't know until I was 14. And my parents did the best thing that they could for me. They took me to the Jerry Lewis Telethon. And I saw kids, much like the kids that you saw last night, and I thought to myself, how could I possibly feel bad that, I have to deal with this problem, which is so minute in comparison. And it's these kids that keep me going, like, on days where I just don't feel like doing it anymore. I see them, and I'm like, yeah, I do. And that's why I've been there for 8.5 years, because they are just everything. They're just such a motivator and an inspiration in my personal life. And then I meet people like you guys, and you're an inspiration because you're just doing it out of the goodness of your heart. And I can't tell you what that does for, me personally and all these kids. It just is a wonderful thing, and just makes you believe in the goodness in the world.
It's like a feedback loop of positivity, though. It's like, you guys inspire us, we inspire you, and it's just like, we're just gonna keep doing it. That's why it's been
Great.
snowballing
Was
since
this a
the...
group hug?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Seriously, let's all get in here.
You're the best.
Yeah. You're the
No,
best.
you
We're-
hang up first. All
Nice.
Awesome.
Great.
right.
What was
So-
that? Like, if people want to learn more, if they want to check out the place. Like, what are some of the ways to keep up with
Sure.
what the hospital is doing?
So you can go to our website again,
Oh, that's what
children's-specialized.org.
I
I know it's
still- Sorry, guys.
No, it still connects. It still works.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
does
And
it?
it's also
Good.
at
Yeah, use that one.
Children's Spec NJ
yeah.
on Twitter.
On Twitter, and then we're also our CMN team is at CMNNJ on Twitter. We're also on Facebook as Children's Specialized Hospital, and Instagram as well. So there's a lot of ways to find us. We also have a great, if you're thinking like, gosh, I wish I knew more stories like Jude, go to our YouTube channel, which is just youtube.com/CSHNJ, and you can see a lot of our stories of our kids. Kids like Ariana, who I was just with at the Bridgewater Microsoft store, who was born completely normal, and she still is, but she had a terrible accident. That was such a freak accident. She was at a play date, and her play date's father was an archer, and the brother started to shoot arrows into the backyard, and she had run out inside to get a drink and ran back outside. He didn't see her, she didn't see him, and she got hit with an arrow, like right here. And if it had gone like a little further, she wouldn't have survived. But as it was very severe. She pulled it out and had a stroke and just dropped.
Oh my
And
God.
she went to our neighbor over at Robert Wood for acute care, and then came to us with a trach. She couldn't breathe on her own. She couldn't speak. She couldn't walk. And now you should see her. She is I am very close with this family. They were our champions in, I think, 2012, or 2012. And she's doing amazing. Like, she went from being an inpatient for months to our cognitive rehabilitation program, which takes place in our Mountainside unit. So you guys didn't get to see that, but it's basically an all-day program, like 5 days a week, as if they're going to school, but it's also for them to get therapy at the same time. So she was in that for a while, and now is back in public school. and doing wonderful, and she's just the best. And I always tell her she's a little sassafras because last year, I'll tell you a little quick story. We were at a fundraiser, and I was introducing everyone to my new boyfriend at the time, now fiance. Hey, and she was just the best because she feels like we're like family. So she's grilling him. She's like, so what do you do? And like I was like, I love.
Are you
this
good enough for my friend?
Right. I was like, I love this moment so much, and I just saw her like I said this morning, and I literally just got engaged last weekend, so she gave me a card and like she had like hand drawn like for me and Steve. It was just the sweetest. I mean,
Aw.
it's like these kids are like family.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I can't tell you how much. And she's just one I get in like 30,000. I happen to know her well, but there are so many other amazing kids out there that may have had this freak accident or had to have a surgery that really altered their life, and they come to us and we do what we can again to help them to live to their fullest potential, and they are amazing kids, and you guys are doing so much for them, so thank you again.
Oh, well, thanks for coming by and
Yeah.
kind of educating our viewers
Sure.
about this, and hopefully we can get some more donations
Yeah,
going.
let's
Yeah.
do it.
Let's go for it, guys.
Do it for the
Come
kids.
on,
How can-
Shag
Yeah.
Dudes.
How can you listen to that and
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
haven't checked my phone. I should probably have the notifications going.
But yeah, do you want to try out some virtual
I
reality?
Yeah.
so badly want to
Alright,
try
do
it.
some VR.
So badly.
So
Be
we're
great.
gonna transition from here to the back room.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna.
We have to go offline.
Yeah, we'll have to go offline here.
Okay.
And then we'll go online there. So we'll be gone for like 30 seconds, guys. And
And
we'll be
then
right back.
refresh
Yeah. Yes.
violently.
F5.
You're like, no, it's not done. Come back, Shag News. I love you.
I thought it was 24 hours.
That was like